So listen to this. One of the biggest football clubs in the world just had the nastiest dressing room fight of all time. We're talking WWE style fighting in the dressing room over 2 rounds with players battering each other, falling unconscious and finally being stopped by stadium security. In an incident unlike any we've seen in the top 5 leagues, a moment of extreme unprofessionalism saw a football club on the verge of a generational season turn into a fight club instead. You're watching The Football Realm, and let's get right into what happened. Now, I would like to tell you everything that happened, but unfortunately the first rule of Fight Club demands I shouldn't. So see you in the next video. Yeah, sorry, even I have to admit that was a bad joke, so let's just move on. See, this whole thing started on the fine evening of 15th August 2025 when Marseille faced Rennes in the opening game of the new Ligue 1 season. Now, Marseille finished strong last season just behind PSG in the league. With a good transfer window, fans were looking forward to what was supposed to be their strongest season in ages. They had Aubameyang, Biab, Maupay and Greenwood up front, Højbjerg, Rabiot and Guiri in midfield, Baledi, Kondogbia and Murillo in defense, and of course Roberto De Zerbi to lead them all. But after the very first game, team spirits came crashing down. They lost the opener 1-0 to 10-man Rennes after 91st minute goal, despite having 72% possession and 24 shots. Understandably, this left the players frustrated and angry as they went back to the dressing room. Unfortunately, this situation was only made worse by De Zerbi, who started yelling at the arguing players, and his French translator let the players know that he was accusing them of having small balls and saying they needed bigger ones to play for Marseille. This is the latest in a list of controversies involving De Zerbi at Marseille. Last season, the players went on a strike in the training ground after he refused to train them because of a series of poor results. De Zerbi also threatened to quit last season because the players weren't doing on the pitch what he asked them to do in training. Anyway, his statements made the arguments among the players even more fierce, and goalkeeper Geronimo Rulli singled out 22-year-old winger Jonathan Rau and accused him of not giving his all on the pitch. Rulli reportedly used very insulting language in Spanish, and dressing room leader Adrien Rabiot stepped in to cool things down. But then Rabiot started a fight with Rau when the youngster started talking back to his senior players. Tensions increased to the point that 17-year-old Daryl Bacola fainted from the stress, and medics had to come in and treat him. De Zerbi also stepped in at this point and told the players to go to the team bus. But Rau came back from the bus, apparently to check in on Bacola, but ran into Rabiot on the way. The two started arguing again, and Rabiot punched the kid across the jaw. What followed was a 10-minute fist fight, reportedly over 2 rounds, which the Marseille president described as an unheard level of violence inside a dressing room. In the end, security had to separate the two players, but a line had been crossed. Marseille put out a statement saying both Rau and Rabiot will be transfer listed as punishment for their behavior. Rau was quickly sold to Bologna in a 20 million deal, but Rabiot presented a whole new set of problems. The Frenchman has his mother as his agent, and she's usually pretty vocal to the media. She came out and accused Marseille of lying, asking if it was so brutal why De Zerbi, who described it as a bar fight, did not step in and stop the players. The Marseille president, who described the fight as violent, is actually banned from their dressing room by Ligue 1 this season because he called the league corrupt. Rabiot's mom said she does not believe what the president is saying and asked why the club can't give her son a second chance if they can give one to Mason Greenwood. She also implied that the whole thing was set up to force her son out of the club. I'm not sure about the last part though, because Marseille were discussing a contract renewal for Arabia before all this, and their sporting director has admitted that he can't find a replacement before the window closes. So as things stand, Rabiot might end up staying, but the dressing room vibes is certainly subdued at the moment. Well, at least Rabiot didn't turn out to have split personality and destroy the country's banking system. Yeah, I don't think I'm very good at Fight Club jokes. Anyway, if you stuck around until the end, hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.